Hey everyone, it's Drew from Top City Gear, and today I just want to kind of show off a new holster setup that I picked up at a gun show recently, and that is the Packin Tee. Here's a little picture of the logo there. Packin Tee, made by Ridge Outdoors, and I got this from Dave at kansasccw.org, who was kind enough to give me a setup to try out and share with my viewers. So thanks, Dave. But basically, this is sort of, you could say it's a sort of a t-shirt with holsters on the side. It's a little bit more than that, though, actually. It's not just a regular flimsy t-shirt. It actually does have some reinforcements added in, and I'll see if I can kind of show that to you. Of course, it does have a holster on each side, and I'll get into a little bit of that here in a minute. But as far as the reinforcements, there's actually a double layer that runs all along over the shoulder and down the side and under and around the holster, and it does that on both sides. And then there's also kind of a double, I don't know if we can see that there, sort of a reinforcement patch right here on the neck. So it doesn't really stretch, or the guns aren't pulling down as bad as you might think just looking at it. And as far as comfort, it's actually pretty darn comfortable. I kind of see this as an alternative to a shoulder holster setup. There's a few differences, and we'll kind of get into those here in a minute. But really, it I do see it as an alternative to that, and especially for the price, it's a lot cheaper than probably even the cheapest good quality shoulder holster setup. But let's get into the holsters here. Alright, so the way this works, on each side of the shirt there is a large Velcro patch sewn onto the side on top of the reinforced area, and I think also beneath or between the actual shirt and the Velcro patches a layer of plastic film, and that keeps the body sweat from getting on your gun. Maybe one slight downside of that is you can kind of hear it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but sometimes you can kind of hear a little bit of a plastic crackling noise. It's really not that bad, so I wouldn't be overly concerned about that, but it is there. But basically, with the two patches, one on each side, you have your option of basically either having like I've got set up, a holster for a gun on one side. You can also get a mag pouch on the other side. You can also just get two gun holsters, so you can carry two guns, or you can also get an optional just a regular hidden pocket. Just a little bit about this mag setup. I think it's originally intended for just one mag. These are two full-size Glock mags. You can see they fit in there. They are a little bit tight when you put two in there, but that actually keeps them very secure. And as far as security goes, you may be wondering about the retention. That is maybe the biggest downside of this setup that I can see. The retention is not going to be 100%, and I'll show you here a little bit about that. You've got a piece of elastic that's holding the gun, and it's tight, but it's not super tight, and there's not a ton of friction there, so it is possible for your gun to slip out if you go upside down. If you bend over really far, you might be able to get it too, and that also kind of depends on the weight of your gun. The heavier your gun is, the more pronounced that's going to be. But a lot of us over 25 stopped doing somersaults long ago. So regarding pricing on this setup, you can get just the shirt and a holster for one gun from the kansasccw.org website for $42. And then if you want an additional gun holster, That's like another $12, I think. And then the mag pouches, and then just the regular hidden pockets that you can also get are it's like $6. So it's, you know, pretty affordable. Now these shirts can be washed just like any other shirt. I think you want to take the pouches or the holsters off before you wash them. But other than that, you know, just toss them in your normal wash like you would any other cotton t-shirt. As far as sizing, my understanding is that the sizing on these is pretty tight. You know, if you're on the borderline of two different sizes, you want to go with the larger size because it's going to be fairly tight on you. Now, as far as what guns you can use, there's actually probably virtually every gun you can use with this. There are two different sizes of holsters. What I've got on here now with the Glock 22 is the large holster. There's also a small holster, and that's more for your pocket guns or your small single stack 9s. But if you go to the Kansas CCW website, there's a list of all the different guns and what holster is recommended with those guns. Now the manufacturer on these says that they have a capacity of 10 pounds per side, I believe. It actually is pretty darn comfortable, especially how I've got it set up now with the large gun on one side and two mags on the other. The weight feels very balanced. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, really wanting to, you know, excessively give. Now they move around a little bit, but you know, not really that bad. You probably wouldn't want to go jogging in it with a fully loaded Glock, but you know, you might get some undesirable movement there. Just normal day-to-day activities, this is absolutely comfortable, and I don't think most people would have a problem with how it feels. These come in either black or white. I think those are the only two colors. As far as the cut, there's a crew neck, which I've got here, or there's a V-neck, or there's a women's neck also, which I'm not exactly sure what that is. I didn't see that, but maybe that's a deeper V or something. I don't really know. Now, being that this is constructed basically sort of like a normal t-shirt with, you know, a little extra material in the reinforcement areas, you know, longevity on it's not going to be 50 years. You know, I think the manufacturer recommends closer to 2 years is about the life expectancy. Dave at Kansas CCW told me that he's been wearing his for about 3 years now, and it's still holding up fine. He did have to sew a little patch on it where you know, he was doing constant draws at various gun shows where he demonstrates it. You know, his thumb or finger there wore a hole in it, but other than that, it seemed to be just fine. Now, as far as concealability goes, it's be pretty much about like most shoulder holsters. Same considerations probably would apply there to a cover garment. I've got a little fleece sweater on here, and this is not incredibly loose, so you can sort of see it. You know, you may not notice it really at first. You can't really hardly see the mag pouch side so much as the gun side. Now, of course, unlike a shoulder holster, which you would typically have mounted horizontally, the gun on this setup's mounted vertically, so instead of your muzzle pointing out your back, you'd be more concerned with the butt of your gun and the length of it. And as you can kind of see the butt of the gun there on the full-size Glock. However, if you were to use something more like a Ruger SR9C, which has about an inch or so less on the butt of the gun, you can see that it's not going to stick out really that as bad. I think that looks a little bit better, and you can still sort of see it there, but like I said, again, this isn't the loosest shirt. If you had a typical button-over shirt, maybe even if it was unbuttoned, you really couldn't see it at all. If you didn't want to wear a cover shirt, you could always just throw a jacket over there, and you know, as long as you're comfortable with that it's not going to fly open and the gun be seen, or if you're concerned about those things, you know, this is a perfectly valid option too. Now, as far as drawing your weapon from this setup, there's kind of two ways, really three ways if you have a button-up shirt. Of course, the obvious way might be to raise your shirt and pull it out. Another way with this is you can actually kind of push it up into your hand and pull it out. That's a little bit easier if you've got a button-down shirt. There's a little bit of a struggle there. And then also, you know, if you had a button-up shirt, you could just rip the shirt open and reach in and grab it. Now, there is one kind of concern I might mention here, and that's with reholstering. Because it's a vertically mounted holster, and it's kind of an awkward motion to actually reach the holster to reholster it. Pulling it out is really not that bad, but getting it in carefully without, you know, accidentally pulling the trigger, it does maybe take some practice. You do definitely want to be cautious and conscious of that, but you know, you really have to use one hand to open the holster and then insert the gun. So you want to be careful not to get a finger or a piece of the fabric stuck in there. And if you're concerned that about having your gun just Velcro to your side, you know, and as far as it, you know, just coming off, this is not going to just fall off. I mean, it is, with this much surface area of Velcro, it is rock solid. It's even pretty hard to, you know, even if you're trying to pull it off, it really doesn't want to come. They did a good job there. So those are kind of my initial thoughts on this holster setup. It does seem to be pretty good overall. There are a few drawbacks, mainly the being safe when you reholster, and then being upside down. You know, the weapon can slip out. But other than that, I mean, the comfort, the price, the concealability, all that seems to be pretty good as any other, at least a shoulder holster setup. So if you have any other questions on this, maybe there's something I forgot to cover, just you can ask me in the comments. And if you want to purchase these, you can check out my buddy Dave's website at kansasccw.org. Where you can order online, or he also goes to various gun shows and he's got a schedule posted on the website, so you can, if you're in one of those areas, check him out at a gun show and have him actually demo it for you live if you're interested. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, you might hit the subscribe button, and I'll certainly have some future firearm related and holster related videos.